Girls, geez, most importantly in high school, and a little bit in college, a little bit before then. Um, I just have three life lessons for you. Stop caring what other people think. Stop looking for love in the wrong places or too early. And stop worrying about other people. Worry about you. Be yourself. That's all I have to say. Like, I can't stress that enough. Even some adults do this. They try to please other people too much. And when I say this, I'm saying this to myself and to you guys because I do this sometimes too. I can't help it. I'm a girl. I have this problem. Caring about other people way too much. What other people want, what other people want you to do, how people want you to act, think, talk, whatever they want you to do. You always feel like you have to do that for them. You always feel like you have to be that person that everybody loves, that everybody wants to be friends with. And, there's nothing wrong with not having a lot of friends because that means that you're standing up for something. If people don't like you for something you stand up for, then, accept that. But don't ever not be yourself because somebody else doesn't like it. I know it's hard to not care what other people think because at some point everybody cares what people think. But don't let that affect the bigger decisions in your life. Don't let a guy pressure you into sleeping with him because you love him or he's your boyfriend and you guys need to connect on a spiritual level. Don't do that. Because if you don't plan on spending the rest of your life with this person, then you're going to have to leave them at some point. And becoming so attached to somebody spiritually and emotionally through sexual activity or whatever y'all have been doing is going to, in a long run, affect you big time emotionally. And I'm not saying that out of experience. I'm just saying from what I've seen from other people, don't ever let a guy get that part of you that shouldn't be given to him until you know that he's in love with you. Here's the thing. Girls don't need to date in high school. I know that people are going to do it, and I'm not going to stop them from doing it. But girls, you date for all wrong reasons. Ask yourself, when you want to date a guy, when you like a guy, and he asks you out, I want you to, before you say yes, ask yourself, is this guy what I want as a husband? I know that in high school you're not looking for a husband. I know that. Okay. And I understand that you like a guy and you want to, talk to him, be whatever with him, I guess. But there's really no point. If you know that y'all are going to break up, if you know that y'all aren't going to be together forever, why even set yourself up for that kind of emotional distress? Like, you're putting more pressure on yourself, you're putting more stress on yourself. Like, you are ruining a very valuable part of your heart that can be given to somebody who's going to really use it for something. You're abusing yourself when you take that step to give yourself to somebody who's not going to appreciate you for who you really are. Girls are always like, well, I don't have a boyfriend and I really want a boyfriend. I really want a guy that's going to treat me right, a guy that's going to be there for me and he'll be my best friend and all that stuff. Put that out of your head. You are not going to have that because a boy doesn't do that for you. You need a man, and you don't get a man until he becomes a man. And a man doesn't become a man until his 20s, when he's really done with acting a fool and when he's really thinking about his future and making a family. That's when a guy is ready to date. And you don't have that in high school. Guys aren't ready to do that in high school. So stop trying to find that in high school. Worry about yourself. There's nothing wrong with being selfish. Even with your friends, like, that's fine, because at that time you're finding yourself, you're trying to figure out who you are as a person and what you want in life. There's nothing wrong with thinking for yourself, doing something by yourself. Maybe you don't need to go to that football game that night. Maybe you need to sit at home and talk to yourself about what do you want to be in life and how you're going to do it. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And people think that being selfish is a bad thing. Yeah, I mean, if you have a big plate of nachos and uh the person next to you ain't got no money for no food, and you know they ain't got no money for no food, and that's your friend, and you know you ain't gonna eat all them nachos, then share it. I'm not talking about that kind of selfish. If you call yourself dating some dude and he says it's not official until you have sex with me, then you say, well, I'm better than that. I'm not going to give myself to you just because you think that we in love or whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. Just because the guy is cute doesn't mean you have to have sex with him. People are going around just doing it just to be doing it, and sex was not meant for that. Sex is meant to have babies. But as a Christian, I believe that sex was meant for a married man and woman so that they can have babies. That was the point. That's the original point of sexual activity. And when you do that outside of marriage, whenever you go outside of those boundaries, you're tampering with something that's bigger than you. Sex is bigger than just a man and a woman. It's an emotional state of ecstasy. You can have sex and not be in love with someone, but that emotional connection that y'all may or may not know that's there is there. And once you leave that person and once you go and be with somebody else, you're going to feel like you still owe something to that other person that you had sex with. And then you're not going to be able to forget them. You're not going to be able to move on from them fully, even if you do move on at all, you know, until you find somebody who can treat you right, then you're not going to be able to fully move on from that. It's better to just not do it. If you know that you're not going to spend the rest of your life with this person, then don't do it with them. Why would you have sex with somebody that you don't love? Like, why would you? That's embarrassing, isn't it? To give yourself to somebody that doesn't care about you? You know? That's stupid. Like, even if you think you're not emotionally attached to them, at some point you're going to be emotionally attached to them. As soon as, you find out that you have an STD, you're going to want to be emotionally attached to them because you're going to want them to feel bad for what they did to you. I can't stop you from making your decisions. You make your decisions on your own.